Hey, what's up? This is Ben from WODprep. In today's video, I am going to teach you how to do heavy rope double unders. So maybe you're an athlete who can take a speed rope like this and do double unders pretty easily. Okay, they're not too hard for you. You have a rope you like. You have a good speed, and maybe you can hit a bunch unbroken. But then when you pick up one of these big heavy ropes, this one's from my friends at RX Smart Gear. I'm actually not sure how heavy this cable is, but I think it's a little bit heavier than the one that they used at the CrossFit games this year. You pick up a heavy rope and you're like, okay, let's try double unders. Ugh, and you can't quite do it. What's going on? Well, in this video, I'm going to teach you why you might not be able to do heavy rope double unders nearly as well as normal speed rope double unders. So you might be wondering, why are heavy rope double unders so much harder? Well, it's not as simple as just a heavy deadlift is harder than a light barbell deadlift. Obviously, the heavy rope does come into play, and it is more fatiguing to do a heavy rope double under. But why do so many people have trouble actually making it count, like doing a double under? Well, the reason is because your tolerances on the double under with a normal speed rope are too tight. You don't truly have mastery until you can vary your jump height and your rope speed. So if I can vary my jump height and rope speed, if I can go really, really fast and really slow, if I can vary my speed and cadence with the speed rope, that is going to carry over to the heavy rope really well. The reason being is because with a heavy jump rope, I can't spin it that fast. Because of that, we have to slow down and increase the height of our jump. So most people, if they're used to doing efficient double unders with the speed rope, they get to a big heavy rope and they can't do them because they can't spin the rope fast enough, or they're not jumping high enough. So one of the keys here is to practice with your speed rope jumping extra high and spinning extra slow, yet still getting double unders. When you get good at that, that's when you can come over to the heavy rope, which forces you to spin a lot slower, and with the right jump height and cadence, you can do double unders. So you can still hear my cadence. It's the same. My jump positioning is the same. Everything looks the same. It's just basically a big, slow double under. And if I'm good at big, slow double unders with the speed rope, then that should be able to carry over to big, slow double unders with the big, slow rope. Heavy, big, slow rope. 2000, 2001, 2002. Oh, sweet. Didn't see there. Bro, if you like videos like this one, do me a huge fave, smash that sub button, click the thumb-a-rooney up. I would super duper appreciate that, bro. Another thing to note is, how should you hold your hands? If you're used to holding your speed rope like this, like a fairy, if you're used to holding it like this, like barely touching it, because you have these teensy tiny handles that you're using, it's gonna be really hard to transfer over to the heavy rope, because the heavy rope, you gotta have a grip. You need to actually grab onto that thing with your full hands. So one thing you can practice with your speed rope, especially if you have a rope like this WODprep rope that has a nice big handle, is you need to practice actually gripping the rope. Because if you don't grab the rope, if you're not gripping it properly, and this is normally how I grab it right here, so thumbs, I like to put my thumbs on top, and then I'm grabbing it like a handshake. Okay, it's like a handshake grip, except I like my thumbs on top a lot of times, especially with this heavy rope. But if I try to do a heavy rope double under with my fingertips, there's no way I can hold on to this rope. So you need to make sure you actually grab the rope, and either with a full grip or, again, thumbs on top is what I tend to like. That's going to give you the grip that you need to hold onto the rope and actually manipulate it around your body and keep a nice strong grip. Obviously, it goes without saying, doing a heavy rope double under will fatigue you more. Just like doing a bunch of heavy deadlifts, if I do 50 heavy deadlifts, I'm going to be more fatigued than 50 really light deadlifts, okay? But when we take into consideration the form, nothing really changes other than just jumping higher, making sure that we have that nice strong grip, and then being ready and more prepared for that nice slow spin of the jump rope. If you can figure that out, then you should be able to unlock unbroken heavy rope double unders. Now let's talk about something else. You might have seen, I think Brent Fikowski is the one that kind of invented it or made it popular, is rather than grabbing the rope like this, he grabs a rope like this. And I've actually tried it. It's kind of tough, but it works. Practice a couple singles, and then, okay, it works. For me, it's a little awkward. It tends to get a little lopsided, as you saw there, but it could be a good thing to try if you have maybe a workout with a lot of heavy double unders. Holding the rope like this will fatigue certain muscles. Allowing yourself to go from external rotation to internal rotation will then fatigue different muscles. So the reason Brent does this is he's able to efficiently do the heavy rope double unders and fatigue some muscles in one round, and then the next round you might see him doing it with a normal grip because he's fatiguing other muscles. So it's a really clever way to fatigue different muscles. It's kind of like maybe with overhead squats, sometimes you like a narrow grip, and then sometimes you like a wide grip. You're still doing an overhead squat. It just fatigues different parts of the body. So try it for yourself. Personally, I'm not the biggest fan of it. I think I do a lot better just with a standard externally rotated grip. I think that's easier for me, but I haven't done much practice. If you can practice and it feels really good like this, maybe that's a great way to save your shoulders and help reduce fatigue. When it comes to heavy rope double unders, what we don't want to see you do is only practice with this, because heavy rope double unders will just train you to jump slower and spin slower. Yeah, it's going to help develop those spinning muscles, but it's not necessarily always going to carry over into a speed rope. We always want to make sure we're changing the weight and maybe even the length of our rope and the cadence so that we're never locked into a specific size, weight, or speed of a specific rope. That's why I can pick up pretty much any jump rope and knock out double unders with it, no problem, because I've practiced with a bunch of different varieties and I'm very comfortable either jumping really high or jumping really fast or somewhere in between, or spinning really slow, spinning really fast, somewhere in between. That's how you know that you're a good double underer, if you can pick up pretty much any jump rope and knock out some good reps. So with that being said, I do love a heavy rope, and it's why we actually sell this rope with a heavier cable. It's a 5-ounce cable compared to this one, which is way heavier. I think this is a whole pound or something like that. If you want to practice, you could also get a rope that's just slightly heavier, somewhere in between. It could be a great way to develop double unders. So it forces you to jump a little bit slower, but it still has a heavier rope that gives you good feedback with your arms. One thing you're never going to do with a heavy rope is lose track of where the rope is. But with a speed rope, it's really easy to get some slack in it and lose track of where the rope is, and that can cause you to trip. So I think heavy jump rope double unders can be a really great training tool, and if you're competing, you might actually be faced with doing them in competition. Remember, all you need to think about is jumping higher and therefore slower, and then that is going to compensate for the slower spin. And if you really practice and understand how double unders are two spins, so it's 1, 2, 1, 2. As you can see when I'm doing these heavy rope double unders, I'm very prominently going 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. It's a great way to help develop all those double under spinning muscles. So I hope that this video was helpful. In the comments below, what's one thing you learned about heavy rope double unders that you're going to try, or one thing that helped you with yours? If you've already tried based on this video, let me know how it went in the comments. Thumbs up if you liked the video, thumbs down if you didn't, smash the subscribe button. And if you need help with double unders, maybe you're like, hey man, I just want to be able to do normal double unders, then I have something completely free for you. Go to WODprep.com/DU, download our free training guide. All you have to do is enter your name and email, and I will send you that free training guide, no strings attached. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in next week's video. Did you like this video? Well, we have a lot more where that came from. Click this box to watch our next video in the series and get more free training.